Hello everyone, Yubel Master here, aka 38 the Master 1, bringing you another video for the Yubel community. Now, I know I haven't made a video in a while, but we do need to talk about these yummy cards, because they have just hit the TCG with the release of Justice Hunters, and people sure are talking about them, but I believe they're actually talking about the wrong things here, because everyone is like theory crafting stuff like pure builds, and sometimes even like 100% consistent FTG builds apparently, but here's the thing. No one's actually talking about using the yummy cards as an engine in other decks. Because for those of you that don't know, all you need is just a Link 1 and any level 1 monster. Because all of the synchros can actually treat any Link 1 monster as a tuner. So you don't actually have to draw the yummy cards, and you can use generic cards such as 1 Hornet Drones, which is just full yummy combo. So I got thinking, this should be amazing as an engine in decks such as Pearlies or whatever's left of the Snake Eye deck, because they use level 1 monsters and they can just spam out multiple level 1s and they can just go into Anima for their Link 1. However, the real spice comes from using them in a Yubel deck.
Listen, I gave.
Okay, so check this out guys. You activate Opening the Spirit Gates, you normal summon Dark Beckoning Beast, then you use your second normal summon on Chaos Summoning Beast. That's right, we're adding Chaos Summoning Beast back to our deck now. And then we link the Dark Beckoning Beast into Salamangre Almirage. And now, as you can see, we've got a Link 1 monster and a level 1 monster. Do you see where I'm going with this? Yes, that's right, we can actually use the yummy cards in our normal Yubel combo without actually having to change that much of how we start it. So yeah, not only do I think the Yummy engine is playable in the Yubel deck, but I actually believe it's going to be a must-have addition to the deck itself. Okay, so before I explain why this is the case, as well as maybe exploring the pros and cons of running the Yummy cards in Yubel, I'll just show you the rest of the combo just so that you can see what we're dealing with and how powerful this Yummy engine is for Yubel. Okay, so now that you've seen the full 1-card combo, let's break it down. So, I know that was very long, but remember this all started with just one Opening the Spirit Gates in the hand. Like, the rest of the hand was just hand traps. So all it needs is just one Opening the Spirit Gates and 2 discards. And with that, we can get 2 Omni Negates, which also can remove stuff when they leave the field, as well as Layered Interruption from cards like Unchained Soul of Rage, which is summoned by the trap card that we set off Shavara. So Soul of Rage is 3 interrupts when you link it into SP Little Knight. I'm sure if you're a Yubel player, you already know this. We also have 4 interrupts with the new Yummy cards. That's right, 4 interrupts, because Cookie Yummy is 1 pop when it's summoned from the graveyard with the Synchro monster, and the field spell is also 1 pop, and also the other synchro that we synchro into during our opponent's turn can put 2 of our opponent's monsters face down defense position, essentially stopping them from going into any link monsters or anything. So yeah, that is 4 interrupts from the Yummy cards, 3 interrupts from Unchained Soul of Rage. That's like 7 interrupts, which is already pretty much impossible for any deck to play through, but it's even more impossible when you have 2 Omni Negates backing them up. You know, I bet even Tom Cruise wouldn't even be able to break through a board like this.
It's ridiculous.
Because you can even negate Dark Ruler No More if you chain Chamber and then chain Desiree as chaining 3, because Desiree is no longer responding to Dark Ruler No More because it's chaining 3. So how is this all possible? Well, the first Yummy card we synchroed into adds any 2 Yummy cards from the deck to the hand and then discards a card. So one of the Yummy cards that we can add is also a card that searches for any Yummy card. So then we can search for the 3rd main deck monster, and all 3 of these main deck Yummy monsters can jump out of the hand if you control a Link 1 or a level 2 synchro. So pretty much you can just make them jump out of the hand for free if you're starting the combo a different way, which makes them extenders and starters at the same time. So the Link 1 for the actual Yummy archetype gets you the field spell, and the field spell can summon any Yummy monster from the grave, I think if you control a Link 1. So with the 3 Yummies that we're already searching that can just jump out, and also the 1 summon from the grave that we can get during the combo, that gives us 4 extra bodies that we can add to our current Yubel combo, all of which we get for free, and they're all light beast monsters, so they aren't fiends. So you may be thinking, oh, since they aren't fiends, doesn't that mean we can't use them for the Yubel combo? And actually no, that's not the case, because there are actually exactly 4 places during the combo where we can use monsters for link materials that don't require them to be fiends or anything specific. And you may also be thinking, oh, but what about the fiend lock? Isn't this whole combo just fiend locked? And again, no, that's actually a common misconception for Yubel combos, that we aren't actually fiend locked for most of the time. The only time when Yubel is fiend locked is when Shalvara is face up on the field, when it's summoned by its own effect, and other times could be when we use a card like Muckraker from the Underworld, which fiend locks us after we use the effect to summon from the graveyard, or Unchained Twins Aruha, which fiend locks us for the rest of the turn after we summon it from the hand. But we don't actually need any of these cards for the combo, so we aren't really fiend locked in a meaningful way. That means that we can just use these Yummy cards freely. So, to be more specific, out of the 4 bodies that we have for the combo, we use 2 of the Yummy cards to go into Moon of the Closed Heaven, because that just requires any 2 effect monsters to summon, and that's what we use to go into the Fiendsmith combo. And then after that, we use one of the 4 Yummy cards to summon Fiendsmith Sequence, because Fiendsmith Sequence says it requires 2 monsters including a light fiend monster. So only one of the monsters has to be a light fiend, the other one can just be any monster. You can even use a Nibiru token, believe it or not. So yeah, and then the last Yummy that we use for the combo is for Unchained Soul of Rage, since that also says just 2 monsters including an Unchained Soul monster. As you can see, the Yummy cards basically fit perfectly into a Yubel combo. And if you're wondering about how they are also 1-card starters, if you so happen to draw a Yummy monster in the hand and nothing else, you can normal summon that, go into the Link 1 for the Yummy Link 1, get the Field Spell. Field Spell revives the Yummy card that you just used as link material, and then you Link Crow summon into the Searcher Synchro monster, and then you just get the rest of the Yummy cards. You summon both of them, and then you link them into Moon of the Closed Heaven, go into a Fiendsmith combo, and then all the way into the Yubel combo. So they all bridge into each other, just like the Fiendsmith combo bridges into Yubel, and Yubel bridges into the Fiendsmith combo. The Yummy cards is just a 3rd cog in the wheel that all bridges into each other. So this is basically like the best engine we've had since the Fiendsmith cards were first announced. And if you're wondering about how much this requires us to play in the main deck and extra deck, well, all we really need is just the 3 main deck Yummy monsters, all of which are 1-card starters, mind you, and then just 2 field spells, which are kind of soft bricks. However, you only actually need one of them for most of the combos, whereas the other one is just a pop on the opponent's turn. So technically, you only need a minimum of 4, but you can play 5 in the main deck. And also for the extra deck, we do need 3 extra deck monsters. So yeah, in my opinion, the Yummy cards are just as important of an addition to the deck as the Fiendsmith cards were when they were first announced. So to summarize the pros and cons of running the Yummy cards in Yubel, the pros are more starters for consistency, more extenders to play through interruption, a higher ceiling for the end board, and more layered interaction that's harder for the opponent to stop. The disadvantages, however, of adding the yummy cards to Yubel are that we have less extra deck space, so we probably just can't play things like Typhon, Underworld Goddess, or Chaos Angel, because pretty much every single extra deck slot has to be dedicated to the combo. And also, adding 5 more cards to the main deck, you can argue might dilute the chances of us drawing outs to fool us, such as drawing things like Crossout Designator, Called by the Grave, Triple Tactics Talent, things like that. Or even Drawn Lockbird, which does counter Fool Us. Which, you know, Fool Us is already this deck's kryptonite, and this doesn't really get fixed by the yummy cards at all. And one last downside that I can think of is that the way that the yummy cards work as extenders is that you have to control one Link 1 monster or a level 2 synchro, which means that if you're going second and your opponent just has lots of removal, you might struggle to play if they just don't let you get to a Link 1 at all, and they might just be dead in hand when you're trying to play through boards. But, you know, Yubel already wasn't the strongest deck going second anyway, so, you know, what's new here? But you guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. And if you have any more combo ideas for the yummy Yubel deck, then do join the Discord and discuss them there so that we can just theorycraft them together. Okay, so that's it from me today. I really just wanted to talk about this with you guys. If you enjoyed the video, then leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more Yubel related content. I'm probably going to be playing the yummy Yubel deck for the next season coming up. Also, I do stream Master Duel 3 times a week live on YouTube, and there are VODs available for you guys if you want to watch me play Yubel on Master Duel to learn and maybe get better. And also, at the time of this upload, I would have just gotten back from my Euros tournament, so I might be talking about my experience live on stream right now. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!